Good morning, everybody. Dustin with the Vance store, doing another mower comparison. This one I've gotten a lot of messages wanting me to compare the Scag V Ride 2 to the Ferris Z2. Driving both these mowers, good mowers. We don't, doing this, we don't knock anything, any particular brand. May question why they do something because it just seems cheap, but don't knock anything. So start with the front ends on these mowers. All right, both of them have run flat tires. Both of them, I believe, both of them have grease fittings on the front wheels. Roughly the same size. So without comparing the two, you have on the Scag, you have a breakaway front end. If you hit something, slide down a super duper steep hill, hit a tree, you can replace this front end without having to cut or weld it back and get it back to factory specifications. On this mower, you have to straighten it or cut it and weld it back, in turn making it extremely difficult to do that. This front end, also looking at the deck, Velocity Plus deck versus the Ferris ICD deck. From the outside looking at them, both of them have that sloped nose to them. Both of them cut extremely well. Both of them are 10 gauge decks. Looks like Scag will have the plastic replaceable trim guard. Ferris does not. They've got a strip of metal. So still does fine, but aesthetically, paint versus replacing that. Let's see. This on the Scag, plate can come off. Easy to get to the top belts. You got to lower the deck on this. It's extremely difficult. Why in the world? This first thing I noticed. Take these mowers and get up under tree branches or in bushes to get as close as you can to eliminate a lot of trimming. The O2 sensor on this is completely, if this is a tree branch, easy to tear that up. Extremely easy to tear that up. That needs to be guarded, braced, protected in some way, shape, or form, because these are heavy-duty commercial mowers. They need to be built like tanks, if at all possible. Of course, the FX Kawasaki on the 23.5 doesn't have that. We're big Vanguard fans. This is the Vanguard EFI 28 horse, the 810cc versus the Kawasaki FX 730 carbureted. This motor's been around a long time. It's kind of like Old Faithful. Plenty enough motor on this mower. Killer engine on this mower. Vanguard, the oil guard system, I kind of take it or leave it. Not a huge fan of it, but don't really have a lot of issues. When we have few issues, just hoses getting hung in things. This is really cheesy, but I don't know where you'd put it. Tree branches hang on this and pull this extremely hard and break that. You've got the trim side of the mower. You can see the grease zerk sticking up, which makes it easy to get to remember to grease it like you're supposed to. But this is the trim side. If I'm designing a mower, I want everything on that trim side especially to be protected, guarded. I don't need to be breaking this off and having to drill and tap it back out. You've got the steel pulleys elevated off the deck. Great, keeps grass from building up under there. Good for that. on, and also it's open, allow everything to be blown off and maintain it. This customer does a really good job of keeping it clean. Comparing that to the Scag, you got a metal plate covering this stuff. You have easy to take it off. Again, they're elevated off the deck, keeps it clean. It's a smooth top deck, so you can blow your grass from front to back or left to right and keep it clean very easy. This has got a lot of little lip on the front. Grass holds under there, makes it a little bit more difficult. You've got a relief on these spindles. They're cast iron, as you do on those. It's on the bottom. Grease fitting on this, but it's right here, so it's easy to get to, but yet it's out of the way from anything that these guys are going to run over. You've got the solid plastic anti-scalp wheels with brass bushings in them. This plate is bolt on, bolt off. It's replaceable without any cutting or welding back. So if you were to hang that on something, these are little old cheap hollow ones welded on. So you bend that, you've got to bend it back or cut it off and straighten it back and weld it back on. You know, just not as user friendly for that. You do not have an anti-scalp wheel. Both of these are 52s, but you do not have an anti-scalp wheel on the discharge side. You do on the Scag, so a little bit more stability. You've got chain hangers, gives it a little bit more flexibility if you were to hit something, a little bit more give. These are solid hangers. Now, I don't have a problem with these, but they can be bent a lot easier. They don't have as much give as the chain does, but they're super duper easy to adjust, just like these are. You can tighten the bolt, loosen the bolt, adjust the pitch of the deck and stuff like that very easily, as you can with this. Getting to the wiring, of course, all of the Scag products, the wiring harness is designed for each individual mower. The wiring on the Scag stuff, you can see it's braided. The wiring on these products is just the cheap hollow plastic loom that can get easily, moisture can get easily in there. It's not sealed or anything, so it's going to wear a little bit faster. You also have your plastic hydraulic reservoirs. They're out here in the open. You know, sun decays those. We replace a lot of those from just wear and tear. They're easy to hit something. You've got a plastic battery box over here. Does it need to be metal? No. You know, not necessarily until you hit something and you wish it was. These could easily be over here. So you can easily protect those. The manufacturer could have done that, but they're easy reference. You know, that's the nice part. This has got the tank in the back. Of course, the back pad comes off, but it has the tank in the back. Pump and wheel motors, integrated transmissions. Both, in my opinion, are excellent. You know, not going to choose one or the other. We don't see any issues with one more than the other. Whatever's available is fine. Size-wise, they're both pretty comparable. Handling on both of these mowers. This mower right here is extremely touchy. Don't know if they all are, but I do know this customer, and he maintains this mower really well. Does all the services according to the owner's manual, takes it to the dealer for all the service, for any kind of maintenance type stuff except for oil changes. This one just handles not good. Nice feature where you can adjust for speed on this. This is a very nice feature on this. I do really like that. I like how easy the parking brake comes on and off. And we'll drive this mower in just a second. Other thing on the trim side, I want to keep stuff as clean as possible and as low profile. And the deck height adjustment, while it is extremely easy to raise and lower this deck, that sticks up out there a long ways. Potential to hang it on something, you know, more chances of that happening. Obviously you can see by some scratches on this tank that this mower's been trimming alongside things. You got a grease fitting out here, you know, just waiting to be broke off. May never happen, but you know, if you can protect that, I mean, why not? On the Scag, you've got a metal battery box. Again, whether it needs to be or not, it is. You know, you don't need it until you do. You've got a roller behind the deck to keep from hanging on things. It allows it to get back over the humps. You have a striping kit on this. This deck stripes extremely well. The roller, you know, it's not technically a striping kit, but it kind of doubles as one. These wheels are good for looks, but you know, been running standards for many years. I have, and never really had a whole lot of use for that. If you're going up something steep enough for those to hang on, then you don't need to be on it anyway. Love how easy it is to engage and disengage the transmissions. Easy access. This platform does not, I mean, I've adjusted it in every way possible and just does not have any, you can see, I mean, it doesn't hardly give, nor does it give very much more on any of the other settings. This one, it's got a lot of spring to it. A whole lot of spring. Now, my biggest complaint that I hear customers say with this platform is you do stand up a little higher. So a taller person has to duck a little bit more to go under things. And it's angled forward a lot. Wish that could be changed and level it out a little bit, but not too awful big a deal. I'd rather deal with more spring than not. 8-gallon gas tanks on both, so that's kind of a wash. This mower, you got to look down in this little peephole here to see how much gas you have left. This mower is just a quick reference. Obviously, it's on the tank. This deck height adjustment is pretty hard. It's pretty hard for some people to raise and lower. The Ferris is very easy. So, you know, that is a nice little thing, raising and lowering it. As far as the pads and stuff, you know, there's nothing really to get to under here. You've just got the gas tank. Nothing important, safety switch. This, when you take this pad off, you unscrew these little wing nuts here, lift it off. You've got your hydraulic reservoir here. You've got your pump and wheel motor set up with fans covering them. With fans cooling them, as well as plastic covers over them to help protect as much as possible. A little bit easier access to a lot of stuff under here, keeping this clean, as opposed to the gas tank holding it in there. I mean, that can be really difficult getting to stuff on that. So, you know, just a quick overview of comparing these two mowers. We're gonna hop on this Ferris right now and drive it. Morning. So, love how easy this parking brake is to take off. But the sensitivity in this mower is extremely touchy, and it's not got anything to do with me not running RPMs up. It is extremely sensitive, especially on this left side. I mean, it's got like a no man's land here. So, you know, it takes some getting used to. You know, people that have it may love it, maybe the greatest thing in the world, but it takes some getting used to. Not quite used to that. Don't know why in the world it'd be that way. So on the Scag, let me put this pad back on here real quick. On this mower, and we'll get into what causes that a little bit in just a second. And this is why fuel injection is nice when it's 25 degrees out here. This is nowhere near as sensitive. Nowhere near. Very much easy to run a straight line without anything, a whole lot of training or anything. Very smooth, and it goes back to quality. On this mower, it's most of the time this sensitive handling is the quality of the dampeners in the controls. Just a better design, better quality than this is. I mean, without holding any punches back, this is just not as good a handling machine. It drives heavier. Some people like it, some people don't, but you can't deny how much smoother this machine is than this machine. And this machine's not old. It's got 246 hours on it. It's maybe a little over a year old. So, but anyway, just comparing the Ferris Z2 to the V-Ride 2. Vance store on a cold Saturday morning. If y'all want, like this video, share it. Go to thevancestore.com. It's thevancestore.com. Check out our website for some specials, some current inventory stuff, some sales. Also, like our Facebook page, like our Instagram page, all that kind of social media good stuff. So just comparing the two, you know, take it or leave it, but just trying to do an apples to apples comparison between these two machines.